Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the Algebra 1 concept of laws of exponents. This is standard A.11B in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 6 of the 2017 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we have the area of a rectangle. We've got that at 54, x to the 9th, y to the 8th, and we have a length, this other one. We need to look for the width. All right, so we need to do a little bit of work here just to kind of, let's visualize what we're dealing with here. So here's our rectangle, okay? So my area, right, area equals 54, x to the 9th, and then y to the 8th. Okay, so remember your area is your number of squares inside of a shape. Okay, so the length, we'll call this our length here. So our L equals 6 y to the 3 over, or x to the 3 over y to the 4. So we're looking for the w. Okay, that's our missing term. Well, how do we find that? Well, remember, even back in 3rd and 4th grade, we learned that area of a rectangle equals length times width, right? L times W. So I'm solving for the W, which means, right, I'm just going to divide both sides by the length. Right, those two will cancel out. So my width is going to be my area over my length. Well, if that's the case, I know my area and I know my length, okay? So that means that we can rewrite it like this. Let's put these expressions in here. My area is 54, and then I've got x to the 9th, and I've got y to the 8th, over 6, x to the 3rd, and then y to the 4th. All right, so that's something we can do. We are going to need to look at our reference materials or our mathematics chart if we want to remember what specifically we do when we deal with the quotient of powers. So what that means is if you have two different exponents with the same base. Okay, so the base is the big number down below. In this case, it's an A. Sometimes it's an actual, number, or it's a group of exponents together. There's a lot of different ways to represent the base. But if you have the same base and you have two different exponents being divided by each other, what that means is you can simply keep that base and subtract the two exponents. Okay, so that's a law that really makes it simple. So what we need to do here is we need to separate this into, I see, 3 different expressions here. So first, just your basic, your coefficients here. Then we're going to look at our x's, so they're lined up on top of each other. Then we're going to look at our y's. We're going to look at those 3 separately, and then we're going to bring them back together. Okay, so 54 divided by 6. I'm kind of running out of room, so I'm going to bring it over here. So 54 over 6, that's going to make 9. It's pretty simple. So now I've got this x over 9, or x to the 9th over x to the 3rd. Remember my law of exponents here. Same base. I'm just going to take my top exponent and then subtract my bottom exponent. So that's x to the 9 minus 3. So that's going to make x to the 6th. Then I've got this y right here. Same base, so let's just take the base of y. Then I've got my top exponent, subtract my bottom exponent. That's the quotient of powers rule. So that's going to end up being y to the 4th. Okay? So we take a look here, and I am seeing that here, like take a look at this 60, right? That's just the 6 plus the 54. They ended up just adding everything. That was kind of weird. And this is, they end up subtracting everything. My answer here is going to be H.